All right. we should be live. If everything's actually working correctly. 27 of you guys here waiting for this to go live. I do appreciate it. Already 7 likes. Thank you for being in here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very fun slate to build lines for. I like this. I like going about this in a sense of really trying to avoid the 5K range. Let me set my thing up here based on salary so we can really discuss this and talk about the lineup construction that I like and the plays that I like, because whether it's right or wrong, I have a way that I really like building lines today. Get these projections in. All right, so when we're looking at salary today, and we're looking at potential lap leaders and guys that are going to have some baked in place differential, whether it be them passing people based on speed or pit road strategies, there's a no man's land in this race, and in my opinion, it is very much the people from Bubba Wallace down to Stenhouse, and so 7,500 down, and then the 5K range from really Noah Gregson down. So in my opinion, I entered this weekend expecting that Todd Gilliland would be a good play, but I have Todd Gilliland projected for 21 points, and I'll answer the comments or anything that you guys post in a moment, but I want to get my thoughts and everything through. Don't like Gregson today. Clearly, LaJoy is a terrible play. Like I said, I got Gillen projected for 21 points, Ware for 19, J.J. Ailey for 16, B.J. McLeod for 14, or Josh Bilicki for 14, B.J. McLeod for 16. The reason I'm saying that is to give context of why I don't want to be in this range today. And I think there's a lot of ways that you can build lines and not even get to the 5K range and be perfectly fine, whether you want to stick with Stenhouse, whether you want to stick with Harrison Burton, whatever you want to do there. I think there's a lot of different ways to, and BVP, I do see the super chat. Thank you very much for the support. And thank you for continuing to donate in all these live shows and stuff. I'm seeing you up there in the standings on a lot of these contests. Anyway, when we look at lineup construction, we look at how we want to build. There's a lot of ways here for us to build really balanced lines in terms of salary and have a lot of hard hitters who can very easily contend for a race win or fast laps and laps led. Let me get this up and then we can start talking about construction. I really like Chase Elliott today. I think Chase Elliott is going to have a really solid chance of winning this race and at least being a top 5 contender all day. I do have interest in Hamlin, Kyle Busch as well, but I love the speed that Chase Elliott had. I love the fact that he has the first pit stall. I love the fact that he's the best car on pit road this year. And I love the fact that his price is so easy to fit in lines. And the reason I like Elliott so much today, on top of those reasons, is you can very easily pair him with Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin, or you can go the way that I think I want to build today, and that's using people like Byron. That's using people like Bell. That's using people like Bowman, Suarez, Stenhouse. I think this is a very easy slate for us to not have to dip in the 5K range, for us to not have to worry about the 4K range, and really build a very balanced line with Elliott and even Hamlin or Busch, whatever you guys want to go there. But I think the 8K range is where I really want to spend a majority of my time today. Like, I love Byron. I love Bell, like I said. I love Tyler Reddick. I love Alex Bowman. Eric Jones is very, in terms of the, what is it called? OGT, optimal game theory, whatever the case is, Eric Jones has a high likelihood of being optimal today. And so in my lines, I'm envisioning building with 5 guys because I think Eric Jones is optimal. I think you play him and move on from there. He's very easy to fit in lines. He's good chalk in my opinion, and I think it's very easy to get different past that. So whatever the case is, when you're building with Elliott and Jones, you got $8,000 left over. We can very easily get whoever we want in this line. I told everybody in the video that I liked Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I love the way that JTG has been performing on the intermediate tracks this year. I love the fact that we're out of the road courses, we're out of the short tracks where they have clearly said that they struggled. I don't know if people are going to be, I'm sure there'll be sharp players who want to get to him. But the fact that he has top 15 speed, the fact that when you look at how he's performed at every track this year outside of the last 6 weeks he's been there, I believe that Stenhouse Jr. even has top 10 upside. I currently have Stenhouse projected to finish 13th today. And so for me, Stenhouse is really the lowest I want to go. And going back to the, the Chase Elliott, Eric Jones build, that leaves you with $8,500 left. That leaves you or lends you to play the guys that I've said I love in the 8K range, and specifically that being Byron. I know Byron's 9-2, but he's very easy to fit in lines. But Byron, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, that's really where I want to spend a majority of my time today. I know I'm going to be asked, who do I like in the value range if we're forced to go down there? I think it's going to be a situation where Ty Dillon might actually end up being the best scorer down there. Might not be the best point per dollar play, but if we're down there, we're looking for Ty Dillon. Or I think you should really consider going Cody Ware, because Cody Ware has had when you look at track history and you look at the fact that Cody Ware has had the same amount of speed at these racetracks year in and year out. I know last year got crazy. I know we had some people wrecking out in the 2 races there, but top 30 finishes from Cody Ware. When we look at the races this year that we have had wrecks, and we've had Cody Ware actually start very close to the end of the back end of the field, and the situation where he did hit the wall in practice, or in his qualifying lap rather, and we look at where he's been finishing, I think we can very easily project Cody Ware to pass 5 cars today. And that's in a situation of people wrecking out, people having mechanical issues, whether it be shifting issues, I was going to say transmission, transactional issues, people getting in the wall, needing repairs. There's a high likelihood that Cody Ware doesn't go a lap down the first 2 stages, especially if we get caution, just because this track is so long or so large. He should maintain a lead lap running position very well. And even if he goes a lap down, he'll most likely get a lucky dog at some point in this race. And so I don't think it's crazy to give Cody Ware a 29th place finish today. If you're needing to go in the 5K range, I think it's Ty Dillon or Cody Ware. Outside of that, I want to stay in the 6K range for this race. And this kind of all goes back to the build. Like, for example, if you're using Elliott, Jones, Stenhouse, and you want to go to either Ty Dillon or Cody Ware, whatever the situation you want to go to, guess what? You can easily get back up to Hamlin. You can get back up to Kyle Busch, or you can really slam, as I've stated before, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez. I think this is a race that lends to a lot of those types of builds. This is even a build that allows you to get up to Chastain, who I think can be a top 5 contender, and I think who will be a top 5 contender at some point in this race. The fact that Chastain has the easiest chance to hit value today, the fact that he's not the most expensive, the fact that he only needs 50 points, and the fact that he has 12 place differential points baked into his race today, I think it's a very easy situation for you to get into Chastain. And I think if you're in single entry, I think if you're in certainly if you're in cash, I would be prioritizing Chastain. But between Kyle Busch, Hamlin, and Elliott, I'm leaning Elliott, Kyle Busch, and then Hamlin, and I think I will have lineups that build with easily 2 of those guys. I really, really like this slate a lot. And that really gives you the pool that I'm working with. I'm working with about, let me see how many guys this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm working with a pool of 15 guys, and I don't see a real reason to get off that. You can see the pool on my Patreon if you have the PDF. I am only using those guys. I am not getting to people like Austin Cindric. I'm not getting to people like Eric Almirola. I don't think I need to. Not getting to Briscoe, not getting to Logano, not getting to Austin Dillon. Kurt Busch is interesting. It's a real shame that he wrecked in qualifying, because as qualifying was progressing, I was like, all right, Kurt Busch, $8,500 starting 10th. I was looking very interested in that. The fact that I think he's going to finish 8th really hinders his upside today. I did like Kurt Busch if he was starting 10th today, but the fact that they're running the backup car, the fact that we haven't seen 2311 run that well after they have catastrophic failures in practice like that, and the fact that they were on the fence to begin with removes Kurt Busch from that pool. And so yet again, using the 15 guys that that you can see who I'm using on the Patreon is where I want to go. When we're looking at FanDuel today, I really, really like the same plays. I think this is one of those races to where the player pool for FanDuel and DraftKings is nearly identical. Maybe you lean to Cole Custer more. Maybe you lean to Brad Keselowski more on FanDuel. But outside of that, it's the same guys. And I would not be shocked if you're playing very similar lines between the two sites right now or today. But that's where I'm at there. I'm really believing in Elliott today. I'll probably end up having probably 60% Elliott. And mainly pairing him with, a Kyle Busch, a Hamlin, a Chastain. And then, like I said, really, really, really going to the 8K range today. That is where we're at. Good morning. I do believe that Kyle Busch will be a lap leader. When we look at how strong, and yet again, we entered the week expecting that we were going to have a lot of Joe Gibbs Racing guys up here, and they qualify 1-2. I think Kyle Busch is going to run slightly better than Hamlin today, but I believe that ownership is going to be spread out pretty well. It's interesting the fact that Hamlin thought he ended up having, or that he bent something in the back end when he got into practice and then ended up running the fastest time in qualifying. I think that is more so him leaning on, or not lean on, but having an extremely good qualifying lap, because I think he should have probably qualified around 4th or 5th. And in a situation where Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott are on the front row, I would lean more on Kyle Busch maintaining the first place position rather than Denny Hamlin working his way through the top 3 and getting the lead. And so I like Kyle Busch more than Denny Hamlin today. He'll be the secondary priority for me in a majority of my lines. Last week, yet again, it's just the issue with the short tracks of the fact that you can't pass. And the optimal lineup last week was something that I just don't have the balls to play and build that way, just with how many ways a race can go. I don't see a race, and specifically with how the salaries are for guys in the top 10. I don't think you need more than 2 guys in the top 10. I would probably use 3 if you're using 2 of Hamlin, Kurt Busch, Elliott, and then use Daniel Suarez if you're looking to stack guys starting in the top 10. But really, when you look at the player pool and the amount of playable guys in the top 10, you have Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Elliott, Truex, Suarez, Christopher Bell, Reddick, Bowman, Byron, and Stenhouse. So what is that? That's 10 guys in the top 20. I think that's really the only guys you should be focusing on there in the top 20 there. I'm sorry, I'm just getting to your question. I know it took me like 13 minutes to get to you, Clutch. Thoughts on Bubba Buscher? How many guys top 15 would you put in the line? Outside the top 15 playable guys, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys outside the top 15 that I think you can actually play. In terms of Bubba and Buscher, I like Suarez more than Bubba. I think Daniel Suarez has a much better car. I think he has much better upside. I think we'll end up seeing Suarez run top 7 today, whereas I can see Bubba falling back to around 9th or 10th. And at that point, we're going to need guys up front to wreck out for Bubba to be optimal or to even be a contender for a top 10 score. And so I would lean Suarez over Bubba. So if you're looking at Bubba, I think you should very easily go to Suarez and be confident in that decision. Buscher in the 6K range, I love Stenhouse. I think Stenhouse is the play in the 6K range. I don't really want to go anywhere off of him. And I think you only need one 6K guy today. And so when you look at Chris Buscher, who is he competing directly against? It's Stenhouse. And I would even argue that he's competing with Cole Custer. I know Cole Custer's slow as shit. I don't see Custer really worked his way in the top 20, but it very easily is like when you're looking at Chris Buscher and what he can actually score and what Cole Custer can actually score, I expect them to be separated by maybe about 6 points. And so I don't like Cole Custer, but the head-to-head between him and Buscher, I would probably lean Custer over Buscher today. Thank you very much, JJ, for telling people to do that. What is higher priority? Finishing position, for sure. we've seen time and time again this year that is what's getting there. And while the intermediate you can pass more, track position is huge at Pocono. That's why I specifically want to target the Reddick, Bowman, Byron, Stenhouse group, not because I see them as place differential plays, but I see Stenhouse as around a 13th to 17th place finisher. However, I see Reddick, Bowman, Byron all competing for a top 10 today. And so I am chasing them for their finishing upside and not necessarily their place differential. I have no idea what time the race is. Lock is in 3 hours and 57 minutes, and that is all I care about. I will probably not end up leaving money on the table because I don't think. Let me look. This is clearly, if you want to get different, I would probably leave up to 500 on this race. But the fact that I'm building a very balanced line leads to a situation where you might have 300 to zero salary remaining. And I don't know if people are going to build that way. I think people are going to end up going into the 6K range, and I just don't want to deal with that. I don't like Haley. I don't like Burton at his price. Ty Dillon probably has the best car in this range. I don't like Gregson starting 22nd. LaJoy is terrible. And Gilliland, I think he's only going to gain like 3 or 4 spots. That's why if you're there, I'm going to probably just try and build different, or fuck it, go all the way down to Cody Ware at $5,100. But that is where I'm at. I probably won't be leaving much line. I won't be leaving much salary on the table. 99 of you guys here. I'm trying to get through all the thoughts and help you guys out, so you don't have to just sit here and 2x this the whole time. Michael Curtis, thank you very much for the $2 super chat, $2 donation, $2 support on the channel. Thoughts on Truex and Blaney? I want to go with Truex over Blaney on those two guys. I would much rather go Truex over Blaney. However, I don't think I'm going to have Blaney today. I'll probably have 1 or 2 lineups with the Truex. Outside of that, I'm not going to really mess with those two guys. I think you should, if you're considering playing Truex, I think you should play Chastain. If you have enough money for Truex, I think you should just play Chastain over him. If you're looking at Blaney, I think you should just play Byron. If you're looking at Blaney, I think you should go Byron, Bell, and even Harvick over Blaney today. I don't think I'm going to have Larson in my lines because I like his teammate more, Elliott. I like his teammate more, Byron. And I like the Joe Gibbs guys as a more likelihood of winning this race over Larson, but that's what I would do there. And all right, we have ran through all the comments, all the questions, so that is good. Trying to see what else we got to do. I mean that's really it, you know. That's the approach today. Man, these bots are insane. Yeah, I don't know. I really talked about all the guys that I like and the builds that I like. I can't really think of anything else. I think that was really much, or very much, the the picks and everything. Clearly, I have my projections that I'm leaning on in with those 15 guys, but that, that's the pool I'm using. I think that's the best way to go about it. I don't think we really need to waste time looking at different guys. That's really where we're at. I had somebody comment on my Xfinity video this morning saying, "Man, I really wish you would do a Cup video. It's a shame that you don't do Cup videos." I'm like, "What are you talking about, my guy? I do a Cup video every weekend. I do a live show every Sunday. I know I've been gone for 2 weeks, but man, like, come on." Let me try and think of other guys that are going to be somewhat chalky that I think, like I said, I just don't like the 6K range a ton this week outside of Stenhouse. I really hate the 5K range, and so I either want to avoid that or just pay all the way down today for the guys start last. I don't think that's a crazy. I don't think that's a very crazy type of race in a situation where, when we're looking at point per dollar plays at this point, do Cody Ware like 21 points? that's not going to be bad. And if he gets lucky and we get a lot of guys being stupid or a lot of guys wrecking out, Cody Ware can very easily score 25 points today, and be right at the cusp of 5x. And so that's really the guy I want to focus on if I'm just in the 5K range and stuff. I think that is an awesome play. I think Bell is going to compete today. I think he can very easily be there all day, be fast, get the fast laps. $8,900 is a gigantic misprice. The fact that we have so many guys in the 8K range that are going to compete and be fast today, it's baffling. The fact that Bowman is $8,000, the fact that Suarez is 79, the fact that Bell is 89, like these are three guys that I would absolutely build around. This 8 to 9K range and 7 with Suarez, I would absolutely try and get 3 of those guys in every single line that I do. I'm not going to get to Keselowski. I would probably play Keselowski more on FanDuel than I would DraftKings today. I think the 7,300 price tag is a bit awkward to get to. I don't like the builds you end up with when you use Keselowski, and so I would end up not using Keselowski on DraftKings today. But that is what I would do there. What else you guys got? I know we got. Well, either way, I went through a lot of the ways I want to attack this slate. Nearly 100 of you guys here watching on a Sunday morning. I do appreciate you guys being here, especially in the return, since I haven't done a live show for the Cup in 2 weeks. I do appreciate you guys that are still here and still watching. And I just, like I said, I really didn't want to waste your time this morning, and that's why I just wanted to hop right in. In terms of, let me try and think of, let's really nail down Byron, Bell, Bowman, Reddick, and Suarez. Between these guys, I think you should prioritize Byron. Byron's going to have top 8 speed today. I think you should prioritize Bell. With what JGR is bringing, he should have top 8 speed today. And then I think you should prioritize Bowman. The fact that, I don't know, I don't know if people have been playing Bowman a lot the last weeks, because I haven't played any Bowman. So I have no, first off, I try and do a good job not having any bias or tilt. You need to have a very short memory in terms of DFS, but I haven't played Bowman at all. So I haven't even acknowledged that he's wrecked out the last 3 weeks, and due to situations that are just not of his control. I think he may have been high owned last weekend, but the fact that he has burned a lot of people, I think you should end up probably being over the field on Bowman this weekend, due to the fact that he's going to have top 10 speed. He's $8,000 or $8,100. Those would probably be the 3 guys I would prioritize there. And then Reddick, if you end up laying on him, Suarez, if you want to be more aggressive and you can't get up to Bowman, or you can't get up to Reddick, or you can't get up to Bell or Byron, and you're stuck with $8,000 left, I think Suarez is very much a decent play there. And I would have Suarez projected over Almirola, over Wallace, over Keselowski, over Cedric, and over Dillon. And so if you're laying up with there, don't be scared that Suarez is starting 9th today. Eric Jones, as I talked about, probably the most likely to be optimal today. I think that's just chalky eat, move on. I think Eric Jones is a good play. Same to you, Eagles. Best of luck today. I hope you end up cashing and performing well today. That's on Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Joe. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's on Hamlin. That's 4. Jones, Gillen. That's fine. I would. What is this? Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Jones. Hamlin, Kyle Busch. Where's Jones at? Okay, so like I said, I don't like that you're using Gillen here. So with this, you're trying to see what builds you ended up being. If you were here, because like I said, today I have Gillen projected for 21 points. So if you were there, I know you don't like it. I know people hate it whenever I bring him up. But in terms of point per dollar play, if you're running this line, Cody Ware. You can already, if you're paying attention, the last 2 minutes of what I said, you play Kyle Busch, Hamlin, Jones, Cody Ware. You know how to finish that line. I think that is a much better line versus getting Gillen and then ending up with, you would end up in the so you end up in the 7K range, and I don't like that range outside of Suarez. I don't like that. You would end up on like a Cindric Dillon, play there, and so I kind of told you how I would play that build if I were you. And I mean, this is like, yeah, like this is, I mean, this is not. I don't think this is a. These guys are in two different price ranges. I don't think this is necessarily a good question just because they're $1,000 different. Like I said, if I have Cody Ware projected for 19 points right now in a situation where I think he can score higher, he's at 3.7x right now. I have Haley for 26. That's 4.2. I like the fact that you can get a guy that I have projected for 5 points less for 1,000 points less as well. That is where I'm at there. I'm telling you, I got Cody Ware in lines today, and hopefully he can just, hopefully these idiots will learn, like Todd Bodine. I don't know what you're doing racing these idiots. They're going to wreck. You deserve to wreck in your last start. I don't know what you're doing, Raja Caruth. I don't know why you're just riding when you said you just want to do laps and you nearly kill LeBay. I can't believe I fell asleep and I missed the flip yesterday. Like I had to catch it late, man. I was like, and I woke up. I woke up from the nap because I was stupid tired. I woke up and I was like, dude, I got a feeling I missed the flip. This is like the first Xfinity. This is the first NASCAR race I haven't watched live in a very long time. I missed the beginning of the New Hampshire race, but normally I watched the end of all these races. And I was like, I'm going to be so pissed I missed the flip. I'm going to be so pissed. However, I'm more pissed that Jeb Burton did not hit the tires or go over the pit wall or start barrel rolling. It was a very lame flip. I would love, I honestly, do you have much confidence in these guys flipping over a car that's on fire, or if this guy was trapped and he needed to get out ASAP? I have a vote of no confidence on these AMR safety crews, and let me see. But so like Haley Deegan didn't really cause that. It was more Perkins on the bottom. It was a dumb situation for all these guys, but I don't think that was necessarily Deegan's wreck. I have no idea, Jake. No clue. I would like this race to go green, and hopefully, if we can not have brake failures. Oh, I would trade big ones for a brake failure down the front straightaway in these cars. This car will not survive an impact. Like, I would love to see Jimmy Johnson's crash in one of these cars. That is going to fuck the driver. They are going to be injured. I would much rather see that than a big one. I just want to see brake failure down the front straightaway today. If I don't see one brake failure today, it's going to be a disappointing day. 92 you guys here, half an hour in. I think we've done a pretty good job of talking. Yeah, that was, I cashed. I don't know what Perez was doing. You're coming out of the safety car. You just let Russell pass you. That changed the optimal like crazy, because I believe that Mercedes was optimal ending that race, and before that it wasn't. It was very much a Red Bull stack, and unfortunately that Magnussen ran into an issue or didn't finish the race. But outside of that, it was a very good day on projections wise and stuff. Thoughts of McDowell? I haven't mentioned him once, and I will continue to not do that. As I've said before, these bigger tracks are ones that you can't really fake speed. 18th fastest, 21 first ranking, average speed 17th. However, I would just rather play Stenhouse. So if I do miss on McDowell, that'll probably be on me again, having my damn blinders on. And maybe you do play him to get different here, but I am probably, I might have him in one line. But He is not a priority, especially like as I said, if I'm building with so many guys in the 8 and 9K range, or even two 10K guys and the 8K boys, I'm not really getting to McDowell. I'm probably bottoming out in the salary. It should be green. I don't see a real reason for this race to have crashes. Now, granted, I mean these guys don't have the best intelligence, and I'm sure Rostain will hit L2 to intimidate somebody in this race at some point. But I would see this race going pretty green. That's where I'm at. Thank you. That's why you show up. That's why you donate. And you're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear this on any other fantasy show. It's fantastic. And the fact that I have an audience that somewhat thinks the same way or doesn't mind it makes me even happier. Nothing much, JJ. I'm not looking forward to. I don't like his pricing. And I wouldn't prioritize him even if I wasn't landing in that 7K range a lot. If you're now clearly if you're building there and you guys aren't going my direction of building a fairly balanced line in the 9 8K, if you end up in the 7K range, clearly you're playing Jones. I would probably play, see, head-to-head between Keselowski and Cindric. I would probably play Cindric over Brad on DraftKings if I was there. You can get that on Patreon, my guy. I'm giving you just a ton of help. I got to keep some stuff behind the paywall. Yeah, there's going to be tire wear, and that is a reason why I do think pit road is going to be huge. Not only due to the fact that you have Joe Gibbs, who is outside. I haven't even ran about this a ton. Kansas, what race was it a couple weeks back? Boys, my boys. It was Nashville. A few weeks back. I have no idea what JGR was smoking. I have no clue why they pitted all their drivers late in that race on a green-white checkered. With that said, Joe Gibbs has been at least with me, I've been the happiest with how they do pit strategy, with how they do tire strategy, with how they actually plan races out. Yet again, I mean, every team is just kind of stupid at some point this year, like Larson and them keeping him out at Sonoma, pissing that race away. I don't really understand why they did that. But with the tire wear, with the strategy, I think that leans more into Joe Gibbs. I think that leans specifically more into Trackhouse, and then it would go into Hendrick in that order. It's probably how I would prioritize those guys. Look at the pit stall selections. At least I've been leaning very, very heavily on that, especially if we do have a yell at some point and the race is going to be decided on pit road, or at least during the stages. Pit road is going to come into play a lot, and that's another reason why I really, 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 really like Chase Elliott today. I don't really give top fives in terms of projections. I'll just tell you guys that I like. And outside of the clear dominators, and I'm sure a lot of people are getting annoyed because I just sound like a broken record. Suarez, Bell, Reddick, Bowman, Byron. Those are probably 5 guys that I would recommend trying to get to and building around today in your line. Jim, half an hour, 80, you guys still here? I do appreciate it. I'm thinking that's really about it. I'll give you guys some more time if you want to comment a certain driver, if you want my opinion on somebody, but that is really my thoughts and strategies and everything on this race. That's really where I'm at. And I like this race, man. I really do. I think this lineup construction is very, very fun today. Let's talk single entry today. I think that'll be a good way to stop, because I know some of you, or a good place to kind of end this video, because I know some of you guys do that. And this would be a difficult race for me to pick single entry on. I'd probably play Elliott, probably play Byron for sure. You got Jones in there. I would probably do Cody Ware in single entry, and then yeah, I'd probably still be the same in single entry. Avoid the 5, avoid the 6. I don't know if I would do Stenhouse in single entry. I don't think you necessarily need to get there. I'd probably do Suarez in single entry. Stay in the AK range and probably lean more on Elliott and then place differential versus having 2 of Kyle Busch, Hamlin, and Elliott. I think that's what I would do for single entry because I think people are going to play the Joe Gibbs guys. So I'd probably try and be on what is it? Chase Elliott there. No, I mean, dude, those I put Super Draft on my little PDF because I wanted to at least have one thing on each site. But dude, Super Draft has died off. I have no interest in playing a 77 person contest on Super Draft. That's brutal. They are just absolutely getting ready for the NFL season. Let me see. I don't think that Cindric is a gigantic misprice, especially when you like with me. I think he finishes like 16th or something. Whereas I would honestly much rather take Elliott and just in the captain. With the 77-person contest, I think a lot of people end up having Cindric, so I probably would pass on Cindric on Super Draft just to try and finish first. And yeah, that's probably I would probably pass on Cindric just to try and get different because I think a lot of people are going to end up playing him. Single entry, Kyle Busch over those guys. Lineup construction. One top guy for. I also want to add that you guys do not have a character limit in the comment section, so we can, and I'm not leaving anytime soon. Like if I see questions, I will answer them. I would like a little bit more context in your questions. I mean, I like this comment. I don't really have anything to go off of here. Line of construction question mark. One top guy, 4 guy. I don't disagree with anything in this comment, but I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. No, it doesn't do anything. Chastain going to the rear, Byron going to the rear doesn't do anything. I don't think you need double pump. I don't think that. I will not go that way. Interesting. I have not seen the Twitter. But I mean, Ty Gibbs isn't on the what is it? He's not a driver. And as I said, the Kurt Busch play was not a priority, so I really don't care. Man, Kurt Busch not cleared yet again. These cars are garbage. These cars are the most dangerous cars that we have raced. We've literally gone back in time, ladies and gentlemen. We are going back in time with a wreck like that, keeping Kurt Busch out. Please, Lord, please give us a brake failure today down the front straightaway. I would just love to see. I would love to see it. I have no clue how to project this. I have no clue how to answer that question. Not going to bullshit you. I can't answer that question for you. Yeah, that sucked, man. That sucked. Magnussen had fantastic speed. The fact that he was in the new equipment, just unfortunate. Unfortunate that happened. I am very sorry for you, but you got close, man. That's all that matters. You got close. The approach was correct. You did everything right. You know, that's when you do need just good luck to go your way, but you're doing everything right. I would not beat yourself up for that. You approach that very much in the correct sense. Yes. However, I think he gets outscored by other people in the 6K range. I probably just won't go with Busher. I'm telling you, if you like Busher, play Suarez today. Suarez has winning upside, whereas Busher has top 5 upside. If you guys are considering Busher, I implore you to go Suarez. All right, been live for around 40 minutes. I think that's where we're at, and maybe that's a career-ending wreck for Kurt Busch. Can you imagine that? That'd be kind of cool as hell. Imagine it's just like, whoa, man, Kurt just can never drive again. That was his career-ending incident. That'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, well, that's why I missed it. My pocket that just came out like 5 minutes ago. I was like, I just checked the news this morning before I went live. How did I miss Ty Gibbs running? That's why. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me check the date real quick because I cannot remember when the month rolls around. So we got next weekend's race covered in this month. So next Monday, if you want to support me, support Pearce, support the fact that we dig up data, we scrape data, we put it into a spreadsheet so you don't have to. So you don't have to waste hours and hours of your week doing that. You guys are busy, you have jobs, you got families you want to spend time with, you got kids you want to spend time with. I guess that's same as a family, but we save you time. We help you get the data that you want to use for lineups. Yes, I offer projections. Yes, Pearce offers projections in the sheet. However, I think our Patreon is much more than just picks and projections. We've had, I think right now we still have 58 people on there. A majority of those 58, I would argue, I'd have to look back, but I think 52 of those 58 people have had the sheet the entire year, has had access the entire year. They haven't canceled. The people who are serious about NASCAR are using this because it's a very easy place to read. It has data going back years and years and years. I like to look at it as like a library. I can just go to any section and look up anything I want. So I would say consider joining the Patreon on the first of next month. Let's see, Kyle Larson or Chastain. I am a fan of White Power Larson, but I think Chastain will be a better play today over that. Regardless of history, I don't want to trust. I think that's a mistake. I think Bowman. Well, you got to look when we look at Bowman's speed. The fact that he is horribly, horribly mispriced. He is far, far, far too cheap. When we look at Bowman in terms of best average speed, he is second. When we look at his best laps, he is second. When we look at his practice speed, Bowman is 9th fastest, second best on speed. The fact that he is baked in place differential, the fact that this is a track in good equipment he has performed well at. The fact that when we look at intermediate tracks this year, Bowman won Las Vegas. Where are we at? He had I'm going to go on. I'm not even going to look at finishes. I'm going to look at speed on these races. Las Vegas has the second fastest car. Dover, 4th fastest car. Gets wrecked as everybody did at Darlington. Kansas, 10th best. Charlotte, 14th best. Worst case scenario based on speed this year, he's 14th best. I think Bowman is I think he's an excellent play. Lineup construction. We redo lineup construction or re-talk about it. I think you play a lot of the guys in the 8K range today and in the 9K range. I'm leaning more and more and more and more and more to playing more and more Cody Ware and just praying that he is not the one with brake failure today. Yes, welcome to the show. We have there. All right. So let's see what good old Danny B has to say here. Let's see, Danny B. Are you gonna bring up his divorce again? Are you gonna Let's see. I see everybody on Twitter wishing thoughts and prayers to Kurt Busch. Good for them. Yeah, the fact that Kurt Busch has a concussion from yesterday just demonstrates how terrible this race car is. I love it. I love how dangerous this car is. This car, and it's due to the fact that it is not a complete chassis. You have the way that this is constructed. You have the centerpiece, which is the driver's compartment, built like a tank because it's built to be able to add and take away parts. The front end, while you can take it off and bolt it together, it does not absorb impacts very well. This indicates that the rear end of the car does not take hits very well, and the fact that these aren't, I don't bring it from like from a 1970s perspective to where we need 7 feet of crush room on either side of the race car, because that was the philosophy back in the 70s and 80s of why those cars were so long, is to provide crunch room as a safety feature or a factor, just because they were running just complete steel body cars. But the fact that these cars are not taking hits very well whatsoever, we're hearing the entirety of this year that these are the hardest hits these drivers are taking. In fact, Kurt Busch, as the sacrificial lamb, happy to see you get removed. Not anything against you personally, Kurt, but maybe this will finally wake NASCAR up. I doubt they will. I'm expecting to, at this point, see more and more drivers not make races due to concussions and injuries. So if NASCAR is not going to change anything, this is just a new norm. Why even waste thoughts and prayers on Kurt Busch when you're going to have to send that to everybody who misses races? He is going to have the power of Christ in him. It is a Sunday. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? I don't think he does very well. Okay, so the fact that he's not in DFS, let's kind of. I am very happy for Ty Gibbs making a start. I think that'll be pretty cool. I am a Ty Gibbs fan because you might as well be a Ty Gibbs fan. Embrace the spoon-fed baby. And I would give Ty Gibbs 24th today. That's what I would do. I can't say much there. We can't really project for that. We have seen break fade from some of the Penske guys this year. We've heard it from some of the Joe Gibbs guys, and we've seen at the road courses Hendrick have cracks on the rotors, but in terms of projecting who it's going to be, I don't think we can really waste our time worrying about that. I don't think Hamlin has a speeding penalty today. He is slowly getting better. Any thoughts on Byron and the Penske cars? I like Byron, not playing Penske. Where do we think? Where do? Let me move this. Where do we think Where do we think anyone who's on? Oh, I'm sorry. I went full on acoustic there. I was not sure what that was asking. I don't think people were on Kurt Busch to begin with. I gave the example that if he hadn't wrecked, I would have been slightly interested in him, but I like Bell. Probably Bell gets more ownership now, but the fact that if you had Kurt Busch in lines, you're completely rebuilding, because I doubt you would have 400 left over to just pivot off of Bell. You most likely had a situation where you had $200 or less left. Bell was already popular. He might gain some ownership from that. We might have Reddick. I think the direct pivot off of that, if people were like mass entering, is Tyler Reddick. But I think those increases are going to not be significant as it shouldn't be. It's not as important as we might believe. I don't like using Briscoe. Let me look. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to have a 3 entry today, but I'd probably do one Chase Elliott solo line, one Chase Elliott with Hamlin, one Chase Elliott with Kyle Busch. I think really this week or this race, we're all familiar with kind of where everybody's wanting to go for lap leaders. I want to get different in the mid range, and as I said, build differently. Like, don't end up in the 6K range outside of Stenhouse, or avoid him if you don't believe in him, and really avoid the 5K range outside of Ware. I think that's different enough to where we don't necessarily need to worry about lap leaders when we're having a completely different build from other people. I think I'm going to end it there. I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. 87 of you guys still here. I appreciate the consistency that you guys stayed in here. We didn't see the viewers drop. We didn't see the viewer number drop very well. I see quite a bit of likes. As I said, I don't ask you guys to do that. You either do or you don't. You either like the video or you don't. But thank you guys very much for being here. Last thing with Chastain. I think lastly, maybe 3 entry or single. Depending on how aggressive you want to be with your Chase Elliott stance, and you fade Hamlin or Kyle Busch, it should be a Chase Elliott and Chastain line, but that's where we're at. Thank you very much for watching. And not Briscoe. You're good. I got the idea of what you're saying. But yeah, good luck, gentlemen. BVP, thank you very much for the donation. Same thing with you, Michael Curtis. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support. And I will see you guys in some preview videos this next week. If you have any questions and you're part of the Discord, you can ask me there. You can tweet at me on Twitter if you want to know anything else. And yeah, consider supporting us on Patreon next month. And I will see you guys later.